Anthropic's artificial intelligent assistant, known as Claude, is pitched as a kind of safe AI thinking partner. But this month, the company's head of trust and safety sensationally quit, posting on social media that the world is in peril and that we're approaching a threshold where our wisdom must grow in equal measure to our capacity to affect the world, lest we face consequences. He's now off to study poetry. All this as Anthropic negotiates with the US Pentagon over the use of its AI on classified systems. And other AI companies toy with the idea of introducing targeted advertising on their platforms.
New businesses often struggle with cash flow. So try Quick Dash Payday Loans, because girl bosses need CEO money quick.
What?
Would you like to make a quick credit check?
That ad is not so subtle a dig at Anthropic's rival, OpenAI, which is pushing ahead with advertising plans, and is now, at least in part, the reason behind OpenAI researcher Zoë Hitzig's resignation. And Zoë Hitzig joins us now from New York. A very good morning to you, Zoë. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Zoë, can you talk me through the reasons about why this industry has made you so nervous that you've in fact left your job?
So what I think about this industry right now is that it's just moving extraordinarily fast, and we can't keep up with the changes that it's making to our society. 800 million people log into ChatGPT every week. I don't know the numbers for Anthropic. I think something like 700 million people every month log into Gemini, Google's product. And this is all coming at us out of nowhere almost. And what I'm really concerned about is that we don't understand this new type of interaction that is forming between humans and chatbots.
So what do you think the impact of this might be on this unknown social interactions that humanity is having with this tech?
Well, one of the things that concerns me, and one of the reasons why advertising is a concern for us to be bringing to everyone's attention right now, is that advertising creates a direct translation between time spent on the platform and dollars for the company. And what I'm really concerned about is that creates an incentive for these companies to keep people on the platforms, to keep people engaged, to keep people coming back. And we really don't know what dependence on these platforms will mean for people socially and psychologically.
Don't these companies like OpenAI, where you worked, adhere to strong and strict principles around running advertisements?
Certainly, the company OpenAI put out a set of principles that they plan to adhere to, and I feel rather confident that in the very first iteration of advertising, they will probably adhere to those principles pretty strongly. But what I'm concerned about is that when you strap this giant billion-dollar economic engine on top of a platform and have these incentives to override those principles, I'm just not sure that they have earned our trust.
So the issue then, Zoë, not so much necessarily about ads right now, but more about what it means in the future and potentially manipulating people?
Exactly. And I think about social media. I think that, social media started out in a way that felt very innocuous. Facebook also had principles about how it would and wouldn't use user data, and it all looked very fine and good. But over time, once they built that advertising engine, once that engine started bringing in billions of dollars of profit, the company really changed. And the consequences for society and for people's lives, I believe, were pretty dire. I know that in Australia, this is top of mind, but of course there are, issues for kids, teenage eating disorders, political polarization, fake news. I mean, I don't have to tell you all what we went through.
Yeah. So are there any solutions here to get on top of this before the horse bolts? Are there any mitigation strategies that can make it safer, in your opinion?
Absolutely. I think that one of my big frustrations is that the industry as a whole is just being deeply uncreative. I think that, these are executives who are promising to transform the world entirely and cure cancer and build super intelligence and transform the economy. I think they can bring a little bit more creativity to funding AI in a way that promotes access while not descending into a form of manipulation and surveillance and control. And one idea, for example, is to think about ways of cross-subsidizing these uses so that people who can't pay are subsidized by people who are benefiting from these tools and potentially contributing to layoffs in the economy and so forth.
You would have heard, I'm sure, the Anthropic CEO speaking this week in India, and he was saying it's only a number of years for AI models to surpass cognitive abilities for most human things. That's a pretty dire thing to say. I think if you're a human, he also had more to say.
We're increasingly close to what I've called a country of geniuses in a data center, a set of AI agents that are more capable than most humans at most things and can coordinate at superhuman speed.
Zoe, do you think that's where we're headed?
I think that AI tools are enormously capable, and I don't know that we get so much from fear-mongering or even necessarily that we get so much from comparing them to humans. I think the most valuable thing for us to do as a society is understand that this is a powerful new technology, a powerful new force that has vast consequences for production and the economy, and also potentially vast consequences on our social fabric and on our minds. And I believe that we need to reckon with that together and try to understand what we want from this technology before we sleepwalk into a situation that we'll regret.
Zoe, really quickly before I let you go, where to now for you?
Well, I also write poetry. I'll work on some of that, and I want to work on getting some new ideas, some creative and imaginative ideas into the public so that we can figure out a way to live with AI in a way that works for everyone.
We look forward to your next steps very much. Zoë Hitzig, many thanks for your time.
Thank you.